Back to your Wednesday. It is 5:41. We are getting ready for this Saturday's KHQA Bridal Extravaganza. Wedding planning can take months to do, and one of the most expensive things you need to plan for are the flowers. And Karen Wellman joins me now. When should people start planning their flowers?
Really about 6 months before. You know, a lot of people do it a year before, but 6 months is really good. You want to get with your florist. Communication is the key thing there, is to make sure that you're thinking about the same things and giving them other choices that they can take a look at. Now,
what are all of the flowers that you need to think of? Because you have the bouquets, but you also have for the reception hall as well.
That is right. You know, normally you do all your parents and your bridesmaids and your grandparents and all that with the corsages and boutonnieres. And the fun part about it is the reception, because there's a lot of different things, and you just really want to carry out the theme the whole time.
Now, we have some different examples of centerpieces here. Let's talk about this one first. This is really, really cute, very non-traditional.
It is, very much so. A lot of the, oh, and I forgot my little candles, but anyway, this is a stargazer lily. It has a nice fragrance, so it gets you a little bit of aroma going on. And then you just want to add your pieces. This is Green Trick. This is a really new flower on the market that we just love. And then you just want to go ahead again and color your color pattern throughout the whole time.
And smell is important too, to remember.
Smell is important, yes. And then of course your candles as well.
And here's one, speaking of candles, it doesn't have a candle in it, but it has a light in it.
Yes, it does. This one is actually it's almost Christmassy, but it has a 3-phase light. And when the lights are dim, it adds a little ambiance there too.
Now, if you have a bunch of tables, should you pair smaller, shorter arrangements with taller arrangements like this one?
You definitely can. And the reception hall itself, the height of the ceiling is also taken into account, because then that way you can, if you've got a large space, then you want to make sure that you use a vase to kind of compensate that.
If you like these tall arrangements, how do you get away with having them but without having too much?
Too much. Well, you know, simple, less is more actually. And so you're going with your design style, and again, incorporating the colors and the scheme of the wedding. So,
what are some important things that brides should know, or questions that they should ask when they come to see you?
Well, they definitely should know the colors that they want to do, and the colors of the dress, because a lot of people think, well, oh, I want this green or I want this purple, but then when they come to finding the dress, it is not necessarily the same color as what you need.
In pairing flowers with dresses, we're going to talk a little bit more about bridal bouquets, and we're going to talk about bridesmaids bouquets as well, and how they compare. That's coming up here in a little bit. Megan. Welcome back to your Wednesday. That's a look inside our control room. It is 6:09. Check this video out. A New Jersey couple marked its big day at a White Castle. They won their wedding in a contest co-sponsored by the restaurant and a local radio station. The prize came with food and drinks for up to 20 guests. This particular White Castle has special meaning, though. It's where they had their first date 6 years ago. Now, even with this free wedding, the bride still had a beautiful bouquet of what looks like red roses, red flowers. Now, how do you pair your flowers with your dress? How does that all go together?
Well, it's really your personality is part of that. Color choices of the other dresses, and the style of dress that you have.
All right, and we have a partial bouquet right here.
Yes.
And we have a vase here. What is this going to be used for?
This is actually going to go back on the bridal table, so it becomes part of the decorations in that area.
All right, and we're going to finish up this bouquet right here.
Oh.
And kind of just explain what you're doing as you're going along here.
Okay, well, handhelds are very much a favorite for most ladies. And you just really, there's an art to it, and you want to do the whites and the reds, a little bit of the color. This is an awesome color with this.
Matches perfectly.
Matches perfectly. So you'll take and do your round bouquet part of it, and then you want to add just a little bit of fluff to it. It's not just all about the flowers. And you'll just kind of come this way with that.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
I actually have only been in the family business for about 20 years, I guess.
Only?
1990. Well, 1990 is when I started with them, and I learned by School of Hard Knocks. I learned from my mother-in-law, and going to the Ohio Short Course is a really awesome place to go. And then you can just really break your greens down. A lot of it has to do with the personality of style that the person wants to project. And then of course, this is definitely not finished, but you add a little bit of the greens and everything to that, and then you finish it up with your bow on the hands there, so your stems don't necessarily show.
Now, should you do more of a contrast between the dresses or more of a matching, or is that up to the bride?
It's really up to the bride. You want it to have a flow. So usually the bride's bouquet has a little bit of the colors of what the girls are going to have in their bouquets as well. And it can be a single stem. You know, it really depends on your budget and how much you want, you know, what you want to do in that respect.
What are some trends that you're seeing these days with bridal bouquets?
A lot of still the round, very neat, tight areas, but their tropicals are really kind of coming in to play as well. And so it's, again, it's a character, and it's they're very nice because they are they hold up very well. They have a unique style on their own, and again, it can be really simple and just a few sprigs of flowers. So
now, brides who want to preserve their bouquet, how do they go about doing that?
Well, the best way is to just keep it all intact, do a really nice heavy hairspray, and then there are some other markets, and there are other people on the market that do that, and then basically hang them upside down, because if you have them there, you can know when you have flowers yourself, especially roses sometimes will get bent neck, and that's simply because the water has left that area. So if you turn it upside down and hang it in a cool, dark place, then it'll maintain its shape.
Very nice. And you have flowers in the ceremony as well.
That's
Slide
right.
this over.
Whoops! Yep. That's the big difficulty with transportation is really a key thing on here.
How do you do that?
But,
how do you transfer all the flowers?
You make you take them apart basically off of their things, so you don't have that kind of problem. This is a very nice candle. They can be very simple to very ornate, and this is compliments of the village hollow candles and gifts. And this is
a unity candle.
So that's a unity candle, and so that is up on the altar. This particular one has the oil, and you'll be able to see the light all the way down through the candle.
Cool. And the flowers just go along with it.
That's right. Everything has a little touch, and it can be very simple like this, or it can be very extravagant. All
right, and we're going to talk a little bit more about bridesmaids bouquets and how to pair them with the bride's bouquets coming up here in the next half hour. Welcome back to KHQA This Morning. It is almost 6:40. There it is, 6:40 this morning. Flowers are certainly considered one of the key essential parts of your wedding. So it's important for brides to look through photos and brainstorm ideas early in their engagement, which is why we're here to help you this morning. We're talking all sorts of wedding ideas this week because the KHQA Bridal Extravaganza is this weekend. That's Saturday coming up, and you guys will be there. You guys will have some displays to kind of help brides out.
Absolutely. With the Wellman Florists booth, we'll have our books. The communication is really key to know what you want, to get the feel of what the bride wants to show at that day. We have we talked about bridal bouquets, but now we're going to talk about, for the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, everybody. Can't forget about them too. That's right. This again is just a handheld. The biggest thing that is, even no matter how many times you tell a bridesmaid not to creep up here to the face, and just rest your arms. You know, it's an intense day anyway, so you don't want to do anything wrong. But this particular type of style, you can use it as an arm bouquet, draped along your arm, as well as just bringing it to this area here. So, and a lot of it has to do with the style, and the ribbons depends on how long the dresses are. And again, you want to pick up more color in the bridesmaids than you do the brides.
And flowers can't be used for more than just holding. We have a little hairpiece here too. Yes,
especially if you have junior bridesmaids or the flower girl, that you can always do something in the hair and be just really cute. It's very nice. The feathers are something new that's coming in this year, so you can add colored feathers as well as just the natural tones.
Now, you have the colored dresses, you have the white bridesmaids, or the white bride's dress. How can you incorporate different colors into the bouquets?
Well, it's your accent colors that kind of go either as a contrast to the dress, something that's going to pop, usually your yellows and your purples, a lot of chocolate colors yet out there, and your eggplant colors. So you want to contrast colors with a brighter yellows, and that really just makes all the other colors pop.
Who is it appropriate to give flowers for in the wedding party?
In the wedding party, well, of course, all your attendants and everything, but your grandmother and your great-grandmothers, dads, moms. Now, 20 so years ago, it was good to also give the people who are going to cut your cake, do your serving of your food and that type of thing, give them flowers as well. The organists and your musicians, you can do that as well.
All right. And budget-wise, is there, I mean, these run pretty expensive.
It can, it can go from $150, if you've got just a small wedding party, to as much as you'd like to spend. The flowers are the difference, like your calla lilies, your lilies, your Holland type flowers, tulips, those types of things. It depends on what type of flower that you're doing is where the expense is. And
do you see a more popular flower during different seasons, during spring or fall? Oh,
definitely. On your spring flowers with your irises and hydrangeas and things of that nature. Some of those are special care flowers, and you have to they really need a water source. So, just really want to be sure that you take that into consideration.
What's the most important thing that brides need to remember when they're coming in to order their flowers?
Oh, they really need to make sure that they're firm on the color of dress, and they have a swatch and some type of style. It's good to come 6 months before, have a consult with them, and then at 3 months you want to firm that up and make sure you have all the flowers and all the ideas are there for you.
All right, thank you very much, Karen, for joining us this morning.
Welcome.
Lots of flower ideas.
Yes.
And again, the KHQA Bridal Extravaganza will be this coming Saturday from 1 to 4 at the Oakley Lindsey Center.